Hello YouTube and welcome to GrunfWorks. This is episode 58 of the Interplanetary Voyage of Exploration. And in previous episode we have been doing our Duna communications network, and in this episode we will be shifting the focus a little bit more towards Eve, because unsurprisingly Eve transfers are much shorter and our exploration ships have started to reach Eve as well. So we are supposed to do a little bit again aerobraking and get our ships in the orbit around Eve. So now I'm just fiddling with the maneuver nodes, and in this episode I'm kind of hoping to also be able to establish a communications network around Eve that would be helpful in terms of getting stuff done, basically. Okay, good. Now setting up a maneuver node, and let's just execute our maneuver node, hold maneuver prograde and execute plan maneuver. 440 delta V, not a little amount, not in any way, but then again a necessary burn to be able to successfully aerobrake. And our current periapsis is 137 something kilometers, something that I'm gonna fix as we come closer. And the whole idea is that basically we should come close enough and then we should just aerobrake and hopefully get captured by Eve. However, Eve is a tough mistress, so it is a little bit tricky and you have to be very, very careful in terms of your approach. Okay, that being said, I'm fiddling a little bit with my periapsis, apoapsis, and making sure that my periapsis is around 66, which I hope should be somewhat decent. So I'm switching back to orbit retrograde, and whoa, sorry about that, guys. I did a little bit time acceleration, and flipping a little back and forth seems to have caused my exploration ship to go spasmic. Well, I'm closing down most of my antennas and preparing them for an Eve periapsis, and which will be in the 3.5 hours. However, I do want to make sure that enable signal delay for 4 hours, and after 4 hours we will be popping all of these guys. So time warp and coming closer to Eve. Hello, Eve. Let's hope that this aerobrake goes smooth. I think this is at 7 times acceleration, guys, and as soon as we start going into the aerobrake, I think I'm gonna go with maximum of 10, because it is really necessary. I was playing this at 1 frame per second, so. Okay, now on to our aerobrake over Eve. I really like how Eve looks so beautiful from this altitude. It's just amazing. Okay, aerobraking ever so slowly, and let's see if we actually manage to get a nice capture. Oh, and yes, we did. Perfect. Let's just hope we don't land on Eve. That wouldn't be okay. And seems not. Great. Wow, this is awesome aero capture. Aerobrake. I'm really happy with this one. Given our recent or first attempt at Duna, I was really worried that it might be a little bit off, but yeah, now I'm just kind of making sure to fix my periapsis, apoapsis, and I have to be careful at which point do my solar panels extend, and they're a little bit past periapsis, so I still don't have any control over the ship, and only now I have managed to extend all of them, and now I'm getting ready to execute maneuver just to make sure that we can basically do something. And we have a reaction wheel failure. Of course we do. Dang it, our friend strikes again. Sorry if I'm a little bit too accelerated this part, because I think you've seen me do this like in the last episode, so I'm trying not to keep it too tedious and too boring, because yeah, that's what happened. We launch multiple missions, we have to do multiple executions, so yeah. But anyway, I disconnected one probe, the ones whose reaction wheels failed, because I just didn't want to have anything to do with it. And now we are going into the mode for activating a second communication probe. So, making sure that we decouple and then activate. Good. We have the engine activated successfully, and it seems as we do not have an issue with this communication probe. Interesting. Well, so far, the solar panel, everything extends beautifully. And actually, later stage I did get some errors, but that's why I just reloaded and I said, okay, well, never mind, let's continue. So, putting like the same thing what we did at Duna, we're doing here at Eve. And I'm just aiming, so now I will be expanding our range. So where we are. Probe, hello. Whole maneuver prograde. And the motor has failed, probably due to some antenna. I now have encountered a second bug, which is basically my probe not showing up. So I decided to go out, back to the KSC and back in again, because that has always worked for me so far. But then again, I wanted also first to actually execute the burn, make sure that I don't miss anything, because yeah, I might be in trouble later. So, burning, because it seems that only the view or the camera point around my probe has gone like crazy. Everything else seems to be working correctly, so might as well use it to actually get a decent orbit. And once again, 1200 by 1200 orbit is in effect. So yeah, I think that's good enough. Let's toggle the SAS, just keep it like that. And then I'm gonna reload it. And of course now we have control and everything is fine. Good. At least from that perspective, one probe is done. Three more to go. Switching to Eve. Ship, come on. Our exploration ship, time to deploy the second one. Let's see. Seems that our first relay is working correctly. Let's extend the communitron for the second one. Decouple. Yeah, and the motor that has failed was tied to opening and closing one of the communitron antennas that's linking us back to Kerbin. But the good thing is that antenna has not stopped working, it's just the motor to make it deploy and undeploy. So from that perspective, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, expanding the solar panels, and I'm just now renaming the probe and reloading from the tracking station, because I really couldn't be bothered any longer by the flipping screen of Kraken, so yeah. Okay, now holding maneuver prograde, and I'm checking I don't want to be basically hitting the Eve exploration ship as I go, so I'm waiting a little bit until I'm a little bit further. And then I'm slowly burning to actually get out of here. Nice. And this is my own stupidity version of dang it, ladies and gentlemen. It's me basically killing off one of my solar panels. Fortunately enough... Wait a second. You're kidding, right? Right? Okay. It seems that the black cat and kittens have gone to Eve. Sorry, not to Duna. Because, I mean, what's the chance of getting your first solar panel ripped and the second solar panel to actually motor die so it cannot track? I mean, seriously? Seriously? Well, I'm pretty determined and set on deploying this communication network, so I don't give a damn. The power generation should be enough to power the relay satellite, and after this burn, we wouldn't no longer have to actually burn anyway, so I don't really care, to be honest. Okay, let us then select the third one. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Activating communitrons, so... Okay, this time we have to be more careful from our separatrons, which are forming debris. And the moment we hit this debris, we actually lost a solar panel last time. So this time I'm actually just gonna fly with a single solar panel, the one that's not aiming towards debris. So, great. I want to be sure that I actually miss it. Which I will. Wonderful. And yes, I've missed the debris. Great. Thank you. Let's see. Kill rotation. I think flying with a single solar panel paid off. It's really a better idea. Because if the one gets ripped, you can still have another one. And we have a triangle communication. Beautiful. That means that I could almost burn for aligning orbital periods, and we're done with setting up Eve communication network. That would be just peachy. I mean, seriously. Much easier than at Duna. Okay. And let's see. Great. Flight director. Let us see how Eve looks. Oh, that's beautiful. Hi, Eve. Sometimes I'm just like to stop and appreciate how beautiful this game really looks. And although I'm playing at a lot of time acceleration, I really am enjoying setting up these networks. However tedious it may look or appear, I mean, it's something that you do. You don't always get to do like the crazy missions. So now I'm doing a very slow burn just to make sure that I get out of the debris field. And then we will be... I'm burning... I'm also closing down because I don't want any debris to be hitting me. And here I'm burning retrograde to decelerate and put us into lower orbit, because obviously we will want this Eve orbital station also to be quite close to the ground, but not too close. I was thinking somewhere around 200 by 200 kilometers, or maybe 400 by 400. Yeah, I think 400 by 400 is actually better, because this one will not be used as much for the craft going up and down as it will be as a relay station to the rovers on the ground. And I'm thinking that will be its main purpose. So yeah. Re-extending the solar panels, and we will be circularizing our burn in like 20-30 seconds-ish. And burning, burning, burning. Awesome. Cool, so aligning orbit normal. And we have our Eve Orbital 1 station, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful. Now, let's go to the tech tree, and we can actually have 100 science, so we could actually unlock something useful. So sturdy wing construction, we don't really need it that much, but we will need it to advance further. And heavyweight wing construction is 200 science for an empty node, so I'll actually just fix it off camera, because I think I don't want to be paying science for invisible nodes that don't give any results. So okay, and we have some more science to unlock, which we will probably in some of the future episodes. But the next thing to happen is, I think, we have a ScanSat probe that should be arriving at Duna soon. So I'm just now re-examining what do we have in terms of science nodes here, and yeah. But the next thing to happen is our ScanSat Duna probe carrier, and that's happening in 3 days. So let's get to it. But first, we do want to make another Jool probe with lifter, and I think I want this one to be used for, I think, Urlum, because I want to rename it to Urlum Nuke Probe, because I saw that the Kerbin to Urlum window is closing in, and I really don't want to miss the opportunity to actually send something there, because the transfer times to that one is horrendous. It's like 12 years. So if we miss this window, we have really no idea when we're gonna get the next one. So I'm also checking the next set of transfer windows to Eve, Duna and Jool. Just to be on the safe side, we want to have these alarms safely put somewhere. Okay, great. That being said, wow, by the way guys, this is what my communications network currently looks like. It's a big mess. So that's why I keep everything offline. So, I mean, it would be just too complex. Okay. Where's our ScanSat probe carrier, which is arriving on Duna? And that's the one guy that we are actually waiting for. That should be able to come into Duna and actually give us some much needed science in terms of like what the Duna surface looks like and what it should be used and where should we land and the biomes. Basically all the information Jeb needs for a good landing. So, fiddling a little bit with the maneuver node and making sure that I want to aero brake, but with this craft I want to be aero braking over the Duna's poles, because ScanSat guys are going into polar orbit. And they don't have too much delta V, which means they have just enough to maybe circularize and get into the correct altitude. So that's kind of the idea with this craft. Aero brake and then deploy these guys. And this small one would be probably used as a relay or something. Okay. Hold maneuver prograde and let us just continue with it. Great. Good positioning, and execute the maneuver node in 35 minutes. Okay. 30 seconds to maneuver node, and let's execute it. It's 531 meters per second burn, so it's quite a substantial burn. But then again, like I said, we really want to be getting into the polar orbit around Duna. So yeah, it's a little bit different type of aero brake, I guess. Okay. Our ScanSat ship powered by nuke technology. So yeah, I would like to use more of the near future, but they're so low thrust that I can hardly do anything with them. I really have to advance more, better reactors, more solar panels, and also some more techie, sweet science to be able to get somewhere. So, and we're going time warping ever so carefully towards Duna, and let's see, nice aero brake, cool. Let's get a Duna encounter, get into Duna's sphere of influence. Perfect. And yes, we will be going into the aero brake. So I'm just now looking at the periapsis. It's around 34, and at some point I'll just want to fix a little bit of periapsis to be around probably 16 or something. It's a little bit harder thing to align because we are roughly, yeah, it'll be around polar orbit, so okay. Oh, sorry, holding maneuver prograde and execute the planned maneuver. Great. Okay. Burning a little bit. Yep. Great. And now I'm just holding orbit retrograde to be able to perform the aero brake or prograde. That's even better, I guess. And let us just appreciate arriving to Duna. Whoa! Oh, and we have Aurora above Duna. Wow, this will be an interesting aero brake. I can't wait to see how it looks. Temperature, gravity scan, transmit, gravity, temperature. Well, transmit whatever you can. I mean, flying over the poles. 16,000 periapsis. I'm really hoping that this would work. And we constantly have a connection to the KSC, so it's fine. Wow, look at this. Oh my god, this is a screenshot, and this one is a keeper. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, astronomers, visual pack. Astronomer, you really made a big, beautiful work of Duna here. This is awesome. Okay, well, we clearly haven't had enough to stop us, so we'll have to execute a burn, and let us just go retrograde, and we'll just be burning orbit retrograde. We don't have to get into a perfect orbit as long as we get into orbit and make sure that we don't crash at some point. So I'm going for a high elliptic yo-yo orbit around the Duna's poles. Okay. Also transmitting some science as we are burning, and burning with full throttle. Great, making sure that we get a nice orbit around Duna, and yeah, I just want to make sure to extend my periapsis above the Duna surface because I don't want to be crashing at Duna's poles. Also making sure that I actually check off to see if my biome scanner and SCADSat are working, because I want to find the correct altitude, and I think 250 or something was the correct one. So Yeah. At first I thought it was 750, but I'm not sure. So just checking that I actually do burn and get our periapsis out of the atmosphere. And that's gonna happen in 2 minutes. Okay, just checking some... yeah. Okay, our flight computer will execute that one for us, actually. And yes, actually, I'm thinking our periapsis, if we keep it around 750, that should be correct, right? By the way, later investigation shown that it's not 750, but it's 250. Sorry about that. Yeah, so sorry about that. I guess I messed it up. So in the end, I have discovered that it's 250 by 250, and that's what I did here. So I didn't want to bore you guys to the death where I'm kind of just fiddling and figuring it out. And now I'm deploying all experiments, checking how they are looking, and I will be deploying these guys soon. So I want to decouple all of our satellites. Let's see. Okay. Communitron activate and decouple, because we need to activate these smaller communitrons to be able to control our probes. One down. And that one does have connection. Perfect. So all we need to do is basically to enable the experiments. Start the radar scan and start the biome scanner, and we get once again the crazy dance of the Kraken, but ultimately I don't care if that it's dancing. All I care about is that it deploys the biome scanner. And then I decide to deploy the second probe, and I'll just go to the KSC center and back, and I'll just kick it. So yeah, I just decouple everything here and wait until this one disconnects and kick it off and get out of here. Thank you. And then disconnect this one as well. So lots of rapid planned disassembly here. And right now I'm just renaming this Duna Scansat 1, Duna Scansat 2. Perfect. So we have our Scansat, and here is some of the sweet signs that they're providing. They are scanning clearly, and that's all I care about. After some time they actually returned this much in terms of altimetry and in terms of biomes. So I think I'm gonna cut it here, ladies and gentlemen, except for getting the data analysis back home to Kerbin. Like if you like the episode, and hit that subscribe button for more KSP content that should be coming soon. In the meanwhile, we're just reporting the results from both our biome scanner and from our altimetry scan, which should help us improve our science. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. Okay, 50 science added, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Once again, let's just check how the chart looks like. I just figured it would be cool because we already went through all the trouble of deploying the Scansat. So we actually might also decide where we're gonna land jab at Duna, because we have few anomalies, we have the terrain map, And I want to see also the biomes. And I want to land jab somewhere where it would be flat. It's kind of my main priority at the moment, and I'm thinking I'll aim for the big flat lake. So now that we have scanned, we can actually use this one only after the scan satellites have done their thing. I dare to actually use it. So biome map, I think I will land jab on the big blue circle somewhere around here, and that's all lowlands, so that's kind of the idea. But that will be coming in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. This is GrunfWorks signing off.